Now, I wouldn't be saying this if it wasn't serious, but I know how unserious it sounds. But we are vibrational beings, and if you understand that, when I tell you that when you put two vowels on top of each other, or two consonants that stay, no matter what two letters you put together, they make an even. And there's a reason for that, because in letters that works too. No matter what vowel you use, I can use OO for an example for this one because it'll help out. Two O's is 15 is odd. But if you put a 15 and a 15 together, they're 3. And they're 3, which is energy from before, and 0, which is a circle containing in this egg, basically, in this circle of light, circle of life, in this temple, in this thing we're circling, okay? So you put two O's on top of each other, it's at 30. It's a magic number. 3, 3, magic number. 8, spin them both around, magic number. Or put two zeros on top of each other, makes an 8. Now, those are shapes. This is the shape part of the light language. So, we are vibrational people. When you put two O's together, that means it's something right in front of you. When you put one O, that means it's something you're speaking about that isn't necessarily right in front of you. But when you realize that if you say you feel good, and it was right in front of you, and you associated with it, you wouldn't need the first O because you were associated with it. You'd have the second O. And I would say, God. People say God is good. If everybody walked around saying, how do you feel? Good, 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 good. How do you feel? Good, good, good. Everybody feels good. So then it wouldn't be something out ongoing. It would be something that you yourself in front of you think, two O's, and now you're associated with it, so it would become one O. God is good, because if everybody understood they were God, they'd understand what it really means to feel good. Okay, now we're vibrational beings. So this is where it clashes in my life, because this comes into people's egos. My brother Brian is a B. He came before me, but I'm two B's added together into D, which I know twice as much, but I don't care that I know twice as much about reality. I know twice as much about the human world. I know twice as much about anything. I know everything. These are numbers and letters, and they give us our obstacles in life so that we can perform. And then because he came first, he's 2 times as big, thinks he's 2 times as tough, thinks he's 2 times as smart. And that's literally happening in my life. So then on top of this, we're vibrational beings. We move into the M. I have a brother named Michael. Then you get into people like Malcolm, Misinform, Matthew, Elon Musk. They are Martian mushroom people, beings, vibrational beings, that none of those words are even real. So we've made those words out of our thought from divine mind. So we've got Malcolm, Matthew, mushroom, Elon Musk, Mars. This is a vibrational frequency that pulls us to where we feel we resonate. But when we pull ourselves to Mars away from Earth, which is where we are, what our ear hears plus puts here, we think that our world is going to end. We think that there's 432,000 years in the revolution of the Gaia sun, and I don't care what teaching I wrote that in, because I wrote it. I know it. And if anybody who speaks any language that makes any sense wants to sit down and talk with Dan Alexander, then he will help them understand it. But I channel through him. The I that everybody would like to know is reachable. Other people think that you can find it yourself. But usually when you find it yourself, you're making it up with yourself. If you want to know the real I, then Dan can tell you who I is through his personal body that he would have to refer to as I, which is very difficult on somebody. So if you don't take it easy on him, that's fine, because he knows who he is. And if you really want to wake up in the world that needs it right now, ask Dan. It's all you have to do. It's that easy. Now, if we go with something like two eyes, there aren't too many places where it has 2 eyes, but we say ski. I, because that's where two feminine energies, Mother Earth and water, meet and they freeze. So we call it, like you can jet ski and you can ski. And one has a K because it's kinetic, and one's, well, they both have Ks because they're both kinetic, but they go SKI. And then we have II for, there aren't too many things with two I's. That's why I was trying to really get into that kind of stuff, but not really like aardvark, because it's a living being that roams the land. And it's got D there because it's defined as that. It roams the domain, you know. And then you go into ard, and then VA is a vital act. RK, reoccurring kinetically, or reoccurring in its kind. I mean, that's what those words mean. Like, I can break down every word, and it's not because I want to be a fancy pants. It's just because I want to help people learn what's true instead of what they're being taught in school, so they don't just become another one of the fish in the sea. And I can't just let the world do that, especially to my kids, to my family, to everybody. So it's not even especially. It's just, I say that because I have to come from a personal place sometimes. But if I don't, would people listen? Because they're people, or think they are? I think they're starting to. And I think they see it in the world, because I let Dan create how the world should be. But now, he's got to say that to people without looking conceited, when other people that are narcissists don't want to understand the real truth. And it's not their choice, it's their ignorance. And that isn't bliss, if you really want to understand what it is. Because I know.